So it's been a while. Time to jump back in the Cook Islands with Tupapa Maraerenga FC. Now, where were we? That's right, we had just taken our side to the knockout rounds of the OFC Champions League for the first time, where we would face Solomon Islands champions Central Coast. And we got off to the perfect start, 16-year-old fullback Reich Mahaman with the goal. We would dig deep and hold on to that lead until the 69th minute when this thunderbolt drew Central Coast level. But we would keep our composure, keep our cool, and with just 2 minutes to go, Toru Mataraki found himself in space, giving us an unbelievable win. It wasn't all good news though, as Lee Harmon had gone down injured just before that winner, meaning we had something of an injury crisis on our hands ahead of the second leg. Again though, we would take the lead, Jake McCoy heading in here off the rebound, and that was the only goal of the game. So incredibly, in only our second season in this competition, we're through to the semi-finals, but a tough ask if we are to go any further as we once again face Auckland City. The media labelling our chances of going through as impossible. Maybe they were right, as in New Zealand for the first leg we made life impossible for ourselves pretty quickly, giving away a penalty inside 15 minutes. Midway through the first half and we were 2 down as once again Auckland proved too strong for us. A glimmer of hope in the second half though, as Sam Brogan stole the ball and some great work on the flank by Mataraki set him up to scramble a comeback goal in, but almost immediately we were 2 goals down again as a certain Robert de Vries scored for Auckland. Yes, the same Robert de Vries who was a thorn in my side in the OFC Nations Cup Challenge last summer. So we lost 3-1. Could we somehow turn this around in the second leg at home? Early signs were not good, as Auckland once again emphasised the huge gulf in class between our teams, going 4 goals up in the first half as we completely crumbled. Still, credit to the boys for tightening things up in the second half, with Graham Viking pulling one back, but we still have some way to go before we can even dream of making the final. And though our O-League campaign is now over, we have reasons to be optimistic. First of all, young Sam Brogan had proven himself at the continental level as one of the competition top scorers. We also had another encouraging youth intake with 2 much-needed defenders topping the class. Financially, our exploits in that semi-final run got us a 50% increase in our kit sponsorship, and the O-League run had put us firmly into the black, albeit a long way off becoming professional or even semi-pro. In fact, some financial reality as a new TV deal brought in the huge sum of £0. We now fast forward to August and the start of the domestic season. Could we repeat last year's 100% win rate? Initial signs suggested yes, with 2 early season wins, Sam Brogan starting the season hot by breaking records. Our next 2 games would be goal fests, as we tried to break in some youngsters. Bill Matter here taking away a record from Sam Brogan, as he became the club's youngest ever scorer. 2 more wins in October, with Sam Brogan absolutely dominant, put us 8 points clear with 4 games to go, and a match with second place Titi Kaveka up next. Tatuava scored the only goal in that game to set us up to claim the title the following week. Now by this point we had won every single domestic game in the last 2 years, so I was expecting the boys to go into this one full of confidence. But this is Football Manager and your expectations are irrelevant, as I got a mixed reaction to my pre-game pep talk. And nerves were indeed apparent for the first time all season as we went behind to Matavera. Sam Brogan led the comeback though as he equalised in first half stoppage time, and then scored twice more early in the second half to complete his hat-trick. Mataraki soon added a 4th, in what was in the end a solid win, bringing us our 3rd straight title. The championship party did cause something of a hangover though, as we dropped points the following week. You have to go back 2 years for the last time that happened. A final day win saw normal service resume, as we won the title by 9 points. In the cup, a 2-0 win in the semis set up a final clash with Puaikura, the team who got that draw against us in the league. But we showed them that result was just a fluke, as we mercilessly picked them apart, running out 4-0 winners. and lifting the cup for a third consecutive double, giving us a confidence boost ahead of a return to the O-League. The preliminary round would be hosted in Samoa at the Sepp Blatter Sports Complex. Oh yep, he had the pitches at the Football Federation Samoa headquarters named after him, and even slapped his name on a nearby basketball court. We started off against American Samoan champs Pago Youth and won an early penalty. Sam Brogan though hit it too close to the keeper. Not to worry though, as from the resulting corner, Tatuava fired in the opening goal. Early in the second half, Matararaki was instrumental in opening up space, which he then exploited wisely to score our second, with Sam Brogan later making up for that early penalty miss with this fine strike. Pago Youth would pull one back, but the opening day victory was ours. A win over Tongan champs via Tonga in the next game would see us through. It was a game we dominated and all seemed on track as Lee Harmon scored, but it was called back for offside. Our opponents sat deep and kept looking for those small gaps and eventually found one, squeezing this shot in off the post. We had our chances in the second half, but this late scramble from Graham Viking summed up our frustrations, as we suffered a shock defeat and would have to beat table-topping host side and Samoan champs Lupe Olesawaga next. We started brightly, Samuel Brogan scoring within the opening 10 minutes, and Toro Mateariki adding another before half-time. In the second half, Mateariki, despite carrying a knock, would score his second and our third, and it was all one-way traffic from there. Brogan adding another and Graham Viking heading in that final cherry. What were we so worried about? So for the third season in a row we make the group stage proper, and this time we have earned ourselves a more favourable draw, as we completely avoid both New Zealand sides. Granted, Fijian champs and hosts of this group bar will be tough opponents, as will Vanuatu's ABM Galaxy, and if we're honest, Papua New Guinea's Morobe Wauens will be tough as well. We would face the Papua New Guineans first, Lee Harmon getting us off to a flyer, before turning provider for Edwards to set up Tatuava for a second. Morobe Wauens came out swinging in the second half, but Lee Harmon then continued to play an absolute blinder with great positioning for our third. Our joy would evaporate in about a minute though, as a killer through ball helped close the gap to a single goal. And then, with just over 5 minutes to go, goalie Rake made a rash decision to rush off his line, meaning we had blown a 2-goal lead. We faced host club Bar next, who calmly controlled the game and got themselves a 1-0 win, and again leaving us needing to beat the top of the group side on the final match day to stand any chance of progressing. Lee Harmon kept his impressive group stage form going to give us the lead, and on the half-hour mark broke into space but was cynically hacked down. Sam Brogan got his spot kick confidence back from the penalty, and in the second half we did exactly what was needed, fullback Edwards with the pile driver. A momentous 3-0 win, with us sneaking into second and getting a second consecutive appearance in the knockout rounds, where we would face a team from my FM past, AS Magenta. For context, AS Magenta is a team I managed many FMs ago. On FM15, in fact, when I managed them as part of a Hexagon challenge I chronicled on the SI forums, taking them to the O-League final but never managing to win the trophy. Anyway, been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. After a quiet first half in New Caledonia, disaster as defender Romeo Karika just let the ball hit him. Here's a better angle and go in. Within a minute we were 2 down and in danger of being overwhelmed. But we rallied and Sam Brogan showed he's not just a goal scorer, providing the layoff for Shane Tuteru to give us a glimmer of hope heading into that second leg. The first half was mostly cagey, but we got a breakthrough just before half-time. Sam Brogan on hand once again. As the clock ran down, I was fully expecting extra time, but there was one more twist. And no, it wasn't us hitting the post right there. I guess my Eurocentric footballing brain hadn't bothered to consider that away goals are still a thing in Oceania. So despite our form being patchy at best throughout this season's competition, we have made it to the semis. Probably helped that we haven't had to play a New Zealand side yet. But of course, that's what awaits us next. Can we make it to the final? Well, that's going to be one for the next episode, which I promise will not take several weeks to appear this time.